It's time for the 8-Minute Devotion. The 8-Minute Devotion is a daily message that fills you with hope and encouragement from the Word of God. Here's your host, Pastor Cameron Walcott.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the 8-Minute Devotion. So glad you've chosen to join us. So glad we can spend this time together. 8 minutes of hope and life and encouragement from the Word of God. And we just said yesterday that we're starting a new series called Always Be Prepared, looking into 1 Peter 3 and verse 15. 1 Peter 3 and verse 15, where the Apostle Peter wrote, "But in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy, always being prepared to make a defense to anyone who asks you for a reason for the hope that is in you, yet do it with gentleness and with respect." That's the verse we're going to be looking at. There's so many little things we can pick up in this passage. We looked at it yesterday, and the background of this whole verse that we're going to be reading is suffering for righteousness' sake. And today, I want to start breaking down this passage by looking at the phrase, honor Christ the Lord as holy. Honor Christ the Lord as holy. The end of verse 14 had said, "Have no fear of them, nor be troubled, but in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy." The background of verse 15, as we just said, is suffering for righteousness' sake. Suffering when you have done no wrong. Suffering and all you're doing is following God. All you're doing is living out the gospel. All you're doing is loving your neighbor, loving others. And in that context, in that background, you suffer anyway. Persecution comes against you. And Peter says here at the end of verse 14, when this happens, when people come against you and you've done nothing wrong, have no fear of them. Have no fear of them. Do not be troubled, but in your hearts honor Christ the Lord as holy. Do not have fear of evildoers. You see, do not have fear of those who would mistreat you, but honor the Lord. Don't be in fear of those who would do wrong, but focus on Jesus. You know, we are called to honor the Lord as holy in our hearts. You know, it all starts in this passage. It all starts with something internally. It all starts with this internal revelation. In our hearts, we say, Lord, I'm going to honor you as holy. You see, we realize that with all the chaos going on around us, with all the evil that may be going on in the world around us, in the midst of the pressure and the persecution that we are facing, what do we do and what's our heart response? It's, Lord, you are holy. Regardless of what's going on around me, regardless of the pressure, regardless of the persecution, Lord, whatever's going on externally, one thing is certain, internally, I am going to honor the Lord as holy. I'm going to honor the Lord as worthy. I'm going to honor the Lord first and foremost, more than I'm going to worry about the swirling circumstances around me, more than I'm going to worry about the things that are giving me pressure on every side. More than all of that, I'm going to honor the Lord as holy. And you see, this internal revelation that we have is that the Lord is holy. The Lord is worthy. The Lord is separate, and the Lord is pure. And the way we're going to make it when we feel pressure, when we feel that crushing sense that we're being treated unfairly, the way we're going to make it and not have our faith be shaken and not ask ourselves, is this really worth it? The way we're going to make it is by realizing, God, you are holy. And I'm not just going to sleepwalk through life, but I'm going to make this decision deep in my heart. I'm going to make this consecration. Lord, you are holy. You are worthy. You are separate and you are pure. You see, we don't let our own imperfections taint our view of the Lord. Because if we look inside just to ourselves, if we look to ourselves and then we see the sin around us and the pressure around us, we can start to realize, well, this world is flawed. This world is messed up. but I also have flaws. I also have weakness. I also have imperfections. And we can start to say, is there any difference? And how can I stay faithful in the midst of all this pressure? When we put our eyes on self in the midst of persecution, we'll be tempted to give up. We'll be tempted to give in because, yes, the persecution can be real and painful. We can be tempted to say, well, I can't do it. I'm not strong enough. But when we honor the Lord as holy, when we start with our eyes on Jesus, when our focus is, Lord, you are holy, 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 then I can put up with this persecution and this pressure. So I don't let my own imperfections taint my view of the Lord. I also don't let the sin around me taint my view of the Lord. You know, we see all of the sin and all of the evil, all of the persecution and mistreatment we're going through. And at times there can be a temptation to say, Lord, this isn't fair. Lord, why are you allowing this? At times there can be that temptation to bring a charge against God. You know, God, I've been faithful. Why do I have to go through this? And at times we can let the sin around us taint our view of the Lord. But Peter is reminding us, do not fall into that trap. Honor the Lord as holy. Don't let the sin around you taint your view of the Lord, but see him as he is, holy, separate, and pure. I love this thought. In your hearts, honor Christ the Lord as holy. And I think it's just a good practice for us. The more we are feeling pressure, the more we're feeling persecution. Many of us watching, we don't face real persecution. Most of us watching, our lives are not in danger for our faith. Most of us watching are not in immediate danger of being sent to prison. Most of us watching, you know, the worst we get is people thinking bad about us for being too serious about our faith, or people arguing with us on Facebook, or people, you know, not liking something we did because, you know, they don't love the Lord. And that's, to many of us, that's the most persecution we have right now. Some of you watching or listening may be in a situation where you're truly persecuted. Your life is truly in danger. Your family is in danger. You're in danger of being sent to prison, your freedom taken away. It's some of you watching, depending where you're watching, you might be in that situation. But wherever you are, whatever you are facing, it's such a blessing that we can honor the Lord as holy. Lord, when I go through these minor inconveniences, these minor pressures, these minor mistreatments, I'm going to honor you as holy. And Lord, if the day comes when I face real persecution and I face real struggle and tribulation, Lord, help me to remember you're holy. Let me set the pattern now in the minor, so if the major comes, I'm ready. That, Lord, my eyes are not on the pain around me. My eyes are on you. You are holy. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll be back tomorrow on the 8-Minute Devotion.
Thank you for listening to the 8-Minute Devotion. Please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast wherever you listen to or watch it. And email us at the8minutedevotion@gmail.com with any questions or comments. May God bless you.